Welcome back, everyone. We're at another episode of On the Subject. I'm your host, Michael Villardo, and we have an incredible guest here today, a fellow Bruin, UCLA MBA graduate, Villanova undergraduate, also a content creator, also an entrepreneur, and currently a product manager. Good friend, John Lee. Welcome to the show today.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good to see you
Yeah,
again,
great
man.
to see you, man. It's going
Good
to
to
be
be back
fun.
on the
Yeah, this is
subject.
so exciting to have you back. And so, a little bit of background, everyone. So, John Lee and I were 1 year apart at UCLA Anderson. Such an honor to be here with us today. And he also teaches our social media skills course. So, what's it like to be just a jack of all trades? Teacher, content creator, entrepreneur, product manager? How do you do it all?
Oh man, I wouldn't say I would be a jack of all trades, but there's just a lot of fun in dabbling in a bunch of different topics. And I feel like for me, at least, I really enjoy, trying out new topics, learning new skill sets, and really trying to find a way to mesh them all together. And I think I'm on that journey right now to really figure out where they all kind of collide and combine. So it's really great to again be back here with you, and it feels full circle in a lot of ways, which is really nice. Really nice. So thank you for having me.
So, would you say Los Angeles brought the creator out of you, or you brought the creator to Los Angeles?
Oh, I definitely would say I brought it here in terms of like I've always had this passion. As you mentioned, I went to Villanova as an undergrad. I studied mechanical engineering, and crazy enough, I used to work in defense, and so I was building satellite reflectors. And the companies that I was at, the three pillars and mottos they had were like mission, deploy, and execute. And then flip, now I'm doing like creativity, kindness, and really just trying to bring some good vibes to people. And so it's been a huge flip for me, starting with like photography, podcasting, live streaming. And then in LA, I feel like I found a decent group of people that really enjoyed creating content and just being around that energy. And now that you're stepping into content too, it's just awesome to be around these types of people that are, really trying to create content and bring value to other people.
Yeah, I feel like there used to be a negative stigma around content that it was potentially cheesy or, what are you spending your time on? And, I just made the plunge in the content February of this year. Last year didn't post one time across any channel, didn't even have an Instagram last year. And, I always wanted to deflect all the energy possible to subject because, that's what I live for is
Mhm.
subject. The students were helping. But there's such a powerful ability to gain attention. And sometimes it can be polarizing, but attention and eyeballs drives opportunities. How did you step into content? Not a lot of engineers, especially mechanical engineer, obviously software too, but not a lot of engineers actually do content. What
Yeah.
was your first video you posted? And, what was it like getting that first like or follow?
No, I love that question. And you're definitely right. I felt a little different in regard to my engineering class when I was at school, but it definitely started. I just love photography. And I think that stems from my dad. When he immigrated to the US, like one of the first jobs that he took on was running a little photo shop. And so he was selling old school cameras and lights, and we've always just been around that growing up. And so I decided to take a camera in college and started capturing memories and moments. And really enjoyed that to capture someone's emotion. And that eventually started to trickle into different forms of format for media. And so podcasting, then I went to video. And honestly, it was surreal getting that first follow, that first like. I didn't know that that's something that I enjoyed, but it is something that I do enjoy. It's one confirmation that like, oh, maybe what I'm creating is valuable to someone else, and it might inspire someone else to create as well. And I think we were kind of talking about it before we started, but we're all just people. We're all just trying to figure things out. And so if you're able to share a piece of your life, your experience, and that helps someone get to the next step of their life, no matter what that might be, I think that's something that's really powerful. And I think, the scale at which you can reach people with social is just astronomical these days. And so it's a huge missed opportunity if you don't do that. And so that's why I love the fact that you're getting into it. And I'm curious to hear from your side, like how it's been of the transformation of going from behind the cameras to now in front of it. If
Yeah.
you want to
Oh, I'd
dive
love
into
to
that
share. And I
quickly.
love your beautiful, truistic view on that. And thank you for all that you do to help people and bring happiness to the world. For me, it really was, I thought being the silent CEO was the way.
Mhm.
And, I had a pretty respectable sports career a long time ago, retired now, and was able to, shine in the bright lights, get some attention. And
Mhm.
it was really thrilling and enjoyable. But I thought in the professional world, more of a modest approach and making it all about the team always
Mhm.
would win. But you realize, especially as a startup, it's very hard to go against these legacy players and get attention. And so
Mhm.
if the founder, CEO, or leaders of the company can be able to be a little more nimble with their social profile and
Mhm.
get some more attention, and that in fact helps more students, then it's
Mhm.
absolutely necessary. And as CEO, your role is to deliver value to shareholders. And the
Mhm.
way we deliver value to shareholders is getting more sales, getting
Yeah.
more students on the platform. And if me posting, additional 100 times a year gets us more students and helps more people in this world, then it's a shame if I don't do it. And so that's why I saw it as my duty. And so honestly, talking more about that and how you view making content,
Mhm.
how you've been able to build your profile up over the years, now it's an instant side of credibility when you walk in a room, especially in
Mhm.
places like Los Angeles and New York, and you say, "Hey, I have 100,000 plus followers." You have that on
Mhm.
TikTok, correct? Or
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
on
how did
TikTok.
you go about, gamifying that and approaching that to be able to get such a large following at such a young age? It's super impressive.
Oh, I I appreciate it. That's really kind of you to say. I would say, honestly, for me, TikTok was just liberating. I would say I got into short form right during COVID, just like most people, where, everyone's stuck at home.
Yep.
There's not much to do. I was actually living in a new place in Maryland. I didn't know anyone in the area, and we were forced to just stay in our homes. And so I wanted to still connect with people. And so I dabbled in live streaming. So I was doing a lot of gaming and just creating content for fun. On Instagram, I felt very, I don't know, like the Instagram network for me was a lot of my friends that don't
Yep.
necessarily know me for the different aspects of what I bring. And so TikTok was like this kind of little secret that I had that I can kind of post whatever I wanted. And that was really liberating for me because, as I mentioned before, I like trying out new things. One day I'm talking about how to solve a Rubik's Cube. The next I'm talking about how to live stream. The next I'm talking about how I'm doing push ups and fitness challenges. And then also like watching anime and sharing that experience. And it was just really great for me to find this medium and then be able to connect with people from all over. And I think that's the beauty of social media is just you're not just limited to the people in your direct proximity. You're really able to connect with other people across the globe. And I've met a lot of people, at least a handful of my live streaming viewers are actually from Germany. And I went to
Wow.
Oktoberfest for the first time last year. This year I'm going back for a friend's wedding. And so it was actually really cool and kind of baffling to meet some of my like followers in real life that have followed me from the early days of live streaming to now, we're all, changing, doing different things. And so it's a really incredible journey, I feel.
I love that. And so we all know, or those of you that don't know who are listening, the number one aspiring job for high schoolers right now is content creator. And, it's a controversial take. Some people condemn it. I'm all about positivity and empowering people to find the most fulfilling life possible. And if you
Mhm.
want to be something, you should go achieve it and go all in on it. And so I'm very encouraging. And at the end of the day, what a content creator really is, it's an entrepreneur. It's an
Mhm.
incredibly difficult job to make it in because it's so competitive,
Mhm.
but it's entrepreneurship. And so when you talk about your education and, whether it was high school, undergrad, graduate school, how has that made you a better entrepreneur? How has your education shaped your career path?
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. And, to everyone that is aspiring to be a creator, I'd say go for it. It's just like
Agreed.
a
Go
fun
for it.
thing,
Do
right?
do you. You only get one chance to go for your career. Go all the way in, and it's okay to take risks. You don't win or lose. You win or you learn.
Yeah, and I really definitely want to double down on that learning aspect. The journey of a creator for me is just all experimentation, all learning, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, seeing what I get fulfilled by, what doesn't fulfill me, and learning those ins and outs. And I think, in regard to your question about before, of like just the different career paths that I've had, I feel a lot more well rounded and being able to see the creative side as well as the more businessy side from Anderson. I think that's given me a lot of a better perspective in how I approach different projects. Like I don't know how much detail people want me to get into, but it helps me build a lot of empathy because as a
Empathy is
creator,
so powerful.
yeah, exactly. And as a creator, you're always being empathetic. You're trying to understand who you're serving, who's your audience, and really figuring out what do they like, what things do they want to enjoy, consume, and how does that align with the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I can kind of bring to the table. And I think the business aspect of things really helped me on the analytical side as it relates to building a content, uh, hopefully empire at some point. But
Yeah, let's do it. You can. You're so early. And I think it's interesting, especially, sometimes people have a very rigid view of education. You
Mhm.
go get your MBA. you should go into consulting or banking and be really
Yeah,
traditional. And,
very true.
in content creation, like, why do you need your MBA for that? And you don't necessarily need your MBA,
Mhm,
but there were still valuable pieces you probably received from it, not only in the education aspect, but the social aspect. Can you
mhm.
talk about how, whether it was when you're getting your mechanical engineering degree or your MBA, how the social interactions on campus also aided your maturity and ability to be a great person and professional?
Yeah, I mean, it was really difficult in terms of Anderson because, as you know, like I started the grad program right during COVID, and
Zoom
so
University, tough
Zoom
experience.
University, yeah, and that was really tough because a lot of the MBA is really about those connections, that
Yep.
networking, and just getting to meet people from different aspects of life. And so I think for me, being a creator was able to really be aligned with myself and what I enjoy doing and not necessarily being too afraid of putting myself out there. And I think that's helped in the business realm for me because, I am who I am. I kind of show up as I am. If you don't really jive with that, then, we can go our separate ways. But I think that transparency and being able to bring that side of me out rather than having it in has really helped me grow into my career, grow into confidence in the different roles that I'm playing. And, really bring out again that creative side. I feel like nowadays I'm always being asked about, oh, what should we do on social? Like, how should we approach TikTok? How should we approach YouTube? What are the things that key metrics that we should be looking at? And I think that's really helped me because it turned from a passion into a very surprising, like little specialty, unique skill set that I can bring to the table on top of the normal MBA analytical side, the business strategy, and that's really helped me, I think, progress and meet the people that I've met and be in the roles that I'm in.
Yeah, it turned into a superpower. You have a superpower, man.
Ah,
I'm impressed. And
dude, I
no, I
hope
think
so.
it,
I
yeah,
hope
you
so.
you touch on a great point about the authenticity, and I'll never forget something you told me about yourself. I wonder if you'll be surprised to remember this a few years ago, and you talked about how cool it was for you to go to Anderson, and kind of what you mentioned on TikTok as well, because you were able to step into a new social environment,
Mm,
and you had no preconceived notion of who you were.
mm,
You could do whoever you want to be. You could be whoever you want to be and just be yourself. And
yeah.
authenticity is so powerful. And I think that's really important, especially for our listeners who potentially may be in high school. While, sometimes you feel so emotional and
Mm,
stressed and like things are the end of the world. When you step into whether it's a college, community college, trade school, new job, you'll be around completely new people who have no
mm,
idea who you are. And you have a chance to continually improve who you are, have fun, experiment, and be yourself.
yeah.
Don't feel like you're in a box. And I think that that's one of the most difficult parts of education,
Mm,
especially those of us, and I put myself in this bucket until junior year when I was able to move away for hockey. You're in the same grade school, middle school, high school environment,
mm.
and you have a certain identity from 5, 6 years old that you're not able to shed. How do you think as a young person you would navigate the tiresome opportunities there are today?
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head of just experimentation, really bringing who you are to the table, and it's not going to be easy. I know we're talking a lot about the highlights of it all, but there's the buzz term of imposter syndrome. Like that's always going to happen. I think as a content creator, it's just natural, and you'll slowly find out what you like, what you don't like. But at the end of the day, like I think I forget the exact quote, but it's you're either something or learning.
Win or you win. Yeah, I love that, and it's one of my favorite
Yeah,
quotes. You don't win or you lose. You win or you learn. I
yeah.
truly believe that.
Yeah, and I love that. I really, again, want to double down on that learning aspect because I've definitely made my mistakes as a content creator, as a product manager, as an engineer, like all the different facets of my life. There's never been a moment where I'm perfect. Like I know what I'm doing. I know exactly where to go, what the next step is, but it's that willingness to dive into the uncomfortable, to dive into the unknown and, grow from it, learn from it and look at those things as a learning opportunity. And I think if you're younger, if you're in high school, if you're trying to figure things out, this is the time. This is the time to experiment. Maybe you'll fall flat on your face, but you have
It's
a lot
okay.
of time. You got a lot of time to learn from it, grow from it, and that'll pave your next move, your next path. And, I think it all adds into, hopefully who we actually do become. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And the faster you can get comfortable with making those failures, taking those uncomfortable steps, I think the better off you'll be in terms of learning and growing just as an individual.
So for you, what was the most impactful education experience? High school, undergrad, or graduate school? There's no right answer
Yeah,
to it.
no,
Just
definitely
important
not.
for our listeners. whether they're in high school or maybe they're 30, 35 years old and are considering going back to grad
Yeah.
school. It's never too late to learn. I just love getting this perspective because you have, several degrees. What has
Mm.
been the most valuable to you if you had to say right now?
Yeah, honestly, I definitely look to Anderson. Like, as
Shout out, go
cliche,
Bruins.
dude, go Bruins, and shout out to all the Anderson friends.
Yes.
It's been so great, and so um again, I think a lot of it had to do with COVID, right? It's such a bizarre time, a pandemic. I've never lived through one. I don't think anyone really has,
Hopefully
and
we
I
never do again.
dude, knock on wood. I really hope so. Sorry if that ruined the quality of the sound. Uh, no, it was really impactful. It was a really bizarre time, a lot of struggle, a lot of isolation, and the people that I've met during those moments, those hard times, those are the people, and those are the memories that I really hold dear. And in terms of education, I think the diversity in skill sets and knowledge bases that I was able to be exposed to, that was unmatched for sure. And I think coming into grad school, I knew what I was getting myself into. I kind of had a stronger sense of where I wanted to see myself. And that was, again, the content creation. And so I was like, how can I weave this in? I tried out the engineering, I tried out defense. It wasn't my niche, it wasn't my category that I really see myself in. How can I start interweaving content and creativity and this type of workflow into my actual life and career path? And, we're still on that journey, but I feel like I've made those steps in order to make sure that that is ingrained into what I do on a day-to-day basis, as opposed to just something that afterthought. And I think I'm really excited to see where that path continues to lead on to.
Yeah, it's awesome. Love the Bruins. And I think one thing that's unique, and I think we both share this, is, when you're evaluating school, whether it's undergraduate or graduate, one of the biggest benefits for both of us at UCLA is, we both ended up staying in LA. I
Mhm.
always, recommend young people really try to find schools. And I'd say it's more important even in grad school than undergraduate because there's some really cool undergraduate opportunities that are more rural and really about the campus life. But
Mhm.
I do believe if you can go to a school in a city you would see yourself living in one day,
Mhm.
a lot of opportunity there. You can network, you can intern. Look, you were able to even meet us. We end up teaching a class
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
That's something that's really special when you go to a city that has a lot of opportunity that you're interested in. You were interested in content, media,
Mhm.
entertainment.
In
Really,
the hub for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. LA is the best of the best, and it's really LA or New York. And then
Yeah.
after that, it's a pretty big drop off for those industries. Maybe if you're going for some other industry, there's some other cities you can explore. But can you talk about why you wanted to stay in LA and what LA means to you?
Yeah, I mean, so I've actually moved a lot. Like I grew
Yeah,
up in New Jersey, South New Jersey, close to Atlantic City,
yeah.
609. If anyone knows, shout out
No,
to the
shout out
609.
Jersey, unique Jersey characters.
Yeah, yeah, Jersey's great. And then I moved to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Then I moved to Florida, Kansas City, Missouri, Maryland, and now
Oh, wow,
California.
yeah, you've really lived
Oh
everywhere.
yeah,
I love
I've
that.
bouncing around, and they're so different in their own senses, and I've met some wonderful people in every single spot. I think for me, like LA definitely has been the most fun place that I've been to. And again, like after coming out to school here, I started building a network here.
Yep.
Started finding my little pockets where I really felt like I could be my authentic self and really grow and thrive. And there's definitely an energy here. I think just meeting all the entrepreneurial spirits here, so many of my classmates became entrepreneurs. You're an entrepreneur. It's super inspiring, by the way,
Oh,
which
thank you.
for all the listeners out there, like this is what I'm talking about. Like you need to surround yourself with people that you're trying to maybe emulate, become more like, learn from. There's so much value in the proximity of the people that you're with. And so bouncing around, finding new places where you feel the most authentic, and also just exploring. Like some of the places I've lived, I haven't really thoroughly enjoyed, but I've learned a lot. And it goes back to winning or learning. We're learning, we're constantly learning. And I hope to continue to do that. I personally don't know if LA is going to be my end all be all, but I've been here for 3.5 years now, and we'll see. We'll see where I
Where
end
is the
up.
end all be all? Where do you wanna go?
Family's huge, man.
Yeah,
Family
family is
is
big.
very important. So I
Where are
got
they?
a
Philly area?
New Jersey still.
Yeah,
Yeah,
South
yeah,
Jersey?
yeah. South Jersey. My brother's up in Boston. They're actually coming to,
Oh
so
my
I'll be
goodness, this is
hanging out with
great. I
family
love
today.
that.
Yeah, it'll be
Well,
really
I think,
nice.
in that spirit, we want you to spend as much time with family as possible. There's just one thing I'd love to be able to end this with is
Mm.
if you had to speak out there to thank any of your teachers in your life, whatever age it would be, who would it be and how did they change you?
Oh, I think about this a lot, which is, I don't know if I should, but I definitely do. These are my guidance counselors in high school. They really shaped so much of embracing the quirks that I have, the little things of kindness that I like to do, the things that might be a little weird, but they're part of me. And so that's a shout out to Mrs. Bonnie Wade and Mr. Joe Monteleone. I feel bad because I haven't reached out to them in a while. They were, in my opinion, the best teachers that I could have asked for. They're guidance counselors. They really helped me guide where I should go, and they told me to keep following what I see in front of me and really go for that. Be passionate about those things and don't stop and just keep going for it. And that was really powerful for me. And I learned so much from them about empathy, about growth, uh, and learning.
Well, so you heard that, and like, what a beautiful way to end it because, look at that. John's such a successful adult living in one of the most diverse mega cities in the entire world, and he still remembers that high school counselor in this case, or high
Yeah.
school teacher that impact and change their life, helps you get into that college you wouldn't without them,
Mm.
helps you then get into that job or that graduate school program, or meet that partner of yours in life. Those little pieces in high school affect your entire life trajectory.
Yeah.
And that's why we care so much about what we're doing here at Subject, helping
Yeah.
high schoolers find the most fulfilling life path possible and making education not just about zip code. And so we really
Yeah.
appreciate your time today, John. This is such a pleasure. We'll be back soon with another episode of On the Subject with Michael Villardo. We're so excited about these chats and we learned so much today. Win or you learn. Thank you, John.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
That was fun.
So fun.